Hi friends, happy Wednesday. I hope you guys are having a really good day. I am going to share this video in a couple groups as I talk, and I have a couple notes to keep myself on track. I have a story I want to tell you guys. Some of you might have seen my stories from over the weekend and one of my past couple posts that Nick and Boaz and I were in Utah, and you may or may not have picked up that I was there for a Young Living event. We had a really great time. We had absolutely beautiful weather. I've never been to Utah before. This was my first trip out there, and I really enjoyed it. Can't wait to go again. Some of the best part of our trip to Utah was connecting with some friends of mine who are also in the Young Living company and just being really open and real about some of the hard things that we've gone through in the past year or so. I see I have a couple people watching. I happily accept comments and questions. Say hi if you jump on. It helps other people see this. So I appreciate that. So I was just mentioning that we just got back from a trip to Utah, and it was a Young Living affiliated trip. So reflecting on that trip, I wanted to take the opportunity to share with you guys a story, or honestly, it was kind of like a confession that I felt embarrassed about. I don't know why, but a confession that I shared with some of my friends that were also on this trip. And then I thought to myself, I really need to share this more widely, so I'm going to. This past year has had a lot of unique challenges for all of us. Some of the challenges for me personally in the last year were a pregnancy and labor and delivery with Boaz. I had some physical things going on during my pregnancy and after that I hadn't experienced before. Our family, like probably many of your families, we've been going through a lot of emotional and relational stressors related to COVID. And at the same time as all this, normal life, pregnancy, baby, COVID stuff was going on, Young Living as a company was going through some fairly significant change and challenge. We had some stock and supply issues. We had corporate leadership changes. We transitioned also to this summer, like around when he was born, an entirely new shopping platform. And during that time, I had some frustrations and frankly, a bad attitude. As a distributor when some customers of mine, not all of them, but some of them, were having some issues getting the products that they wanted and needed. And honestly, I, this summer, experienced the thought, if it takes 3 phone calls to get people the products they want, is this really worth my time? And as I was having some doubts about my Young Living business, I thought about what my life might look like if I stopped sharing about Young Living. The first thing that came to mind was, well, I'll never stop using their products. Why? Well, because our family has experienced complete health and life transformation. I could share a lot of examples about that, but the 2 main areas are in our health and in our time. So even if I was having doubts about like what it was like to work as for them as a company, I knew I would never stop using their products. The health reasons, you guys, we are almost never, I'm not going to make any promises, but we are almost never sick anymore. Over the past 4 years or so, we have learned and gained the ability to look at our bodies and address small warning signs in our health before they become big things. Kind of like if you were going to make an analogy between your health and your car, we now can listen to our bodies and see, oh, my dashboard warning light is on. I should probably do something about that. We don't wait until there's smoke pouring out from under the hood. This is an ironic example because currently my light is on in my van telling me that I need to schedule an oil change. So, but baby steps. But the reason that our family doesn't all come down with the same cold anymore, or we're not sick in bed for days at a time, it's because of the combination of the things that we do for maintenance and the tools that we use intermittently when we need them. We don't use toxic cleaning products or personal care products anymore. We don't use things that have ingredients that disrupt our hormones. We drink Ningxia Red every day, which is super full of nutrition and antioxidants. We have high quality vitamin C. We use essential oils alongside our body's natural immune system to fight invaders, and they're really effective. If this information is new to you, go back and watch some of my previous videos or hang around because I share the how and the why on the science of that all the time. That's not the purpose of today's video, but I am a resource for that and I do share it. But that's just a small snippet of like some of the health transformation. I want to tell you a little bit about the time transformation because I was irritated being inconvenienced on behalf of my customers with some ordering stuff this summer. Because honestly, I got so accustomed to how much time Young Living has saved me that I was taking it for granted. When I thought about having to go back to Target or another retailer to get the stuff that I need for my everyday life, like toothpaste and floss and baby wipes and lotion and hand soap and all the makeup I have on my face right now, you guys, I was immediately repelled. I have no desire to try to shop for all that stuff online at different sites or at Target or Meijer or CVS or wherever. I did not even consider that for more than 5 seconds. Because you guys, I buy all of those things from Young Living as a nonstop shop. Their ingredients are safe and helpful for my body. The company does not lie to me with their ingredients. And they don't try to sneak weird stuff in there that's going to mess with my hormones or my skin or my energy. I used to spend, at the beginning kind of my wellness journey, I used to spend hours probably combined Googling or just in like analysis paralysis, knowing I wanted to make a change and I didn't know where to start. Do you have things to say? You're very helpful. But I used to Google ingredients all the time or use apps on my phone. Like I would be holding my girls in my grocery cart and I would be looking up stuff on Think Dirty on my phone while I'm at Target, like, which brand of deodorant to get, you know? And I got so accustomed over the last 2 years or 3 years that I just add that stuff with a click to my Young Living subscription box that I was not seeing that as the blessing it is. And I let temporary frustrations with the ordering process really blur that perspective. And I had this light bulb moment a month or two ago, like, well, maybe I should just be willing to deal with a few logistical issues to get the products I don't want to live without. Like, maybe that's not a problem. And if I feel this way, and if my lives have been changed so much by these, I bet my customers are okay too. These issues are temporary. And I took a deep breath, and then I had the renewed thought that so many of my friends and family still haven't experienced this health and time transformation that I'm talking about. And I was brought right back to how much it freaking sucked to spend so much time Googling ingredients, so much time trying to make the right decisions for my family's health, but nervous that I was wasting my money. And I have lots of friends who are going back to school and work right now after being home for a long time who are passing around colds, and my heart breaks for them because that was like the biggest moment of transformation for our family, and I remember how miserable it was. And if you feel skeptical about it, and about me saying like we're almost never sick before, I can completely relate to your skepticism. My best advice there is to not take my word for it, but to just try it. Make some consistent changes for 2 months, and I feel extremely confident that you will experience change, because that's what happened to us, and I did not think it was going to happen, but it did. Did you guys know that before we ever bought Ningxia Red for the first time, Nick and I had this like serious heart-to-heart about our budget, and we were like, okay, we're going to try this for 2 months, and if we don't feel any different, then at least we'll know. We'll just be out the money, and we'll never buy it again, and we won't wonder. Well, let's just say that like 3 years later now, we never run out of Ningxia Red, and we just flew to Utah to the company headquarters and probably drank at least 2 bottles worth in 4 days, and we feel amazing. Young Living's not perfect, you guys. They're not. The execution of the transition to our new shopping platform has been bumpy. There have been glitchy tech issues, there have been shipping issues, but what I saw and experienced when I was in Utah the past weekend was some of the kindest and most giving people that you will ever interact with. People have a passion for helping others. They have a passion for promoting health, and they are guided all day, every day by purpose and people over profit. There are so many things that I learned and experienced on this trip, and I literally am tempted to stay here for like 2 hours and tell them all to you now, but that would make a really long replay video for anyone who doesn't watch it live, so expect bite-sized chunks over the next couple weeks instead. Because this is the bottom line, you guys. I would rather buy my products from and partner for a career with a company that values integrity and quality and health and people than a big corporation or a big box store. Because when it comes to most of the products that I currently use from Young Living, I need them. I'm gonna buy them somewhere. And if I got them anywhere else, I would be massively sacrificing on my time or the ingredients in them or the quality of them or my values. My time, our day at the farm on Friday was absolutely amazing. The transparency and innovation that goes into the farming and distillation and harvesting and creation of Young Living products is incomparable. And the farms are truly the foundation of every product because they grow the ingredients in our products. I'm going to do a whole video sometime soon on all of the stuff they're doing as far as regenerative farming because I totally nerded out on that and I was so impressed. If sustainability and environmentalism is important to you, you need to be getting your products from this company. I also got to hear from Mary Young, who is the CEO and one of the co-founders of Young Living. She shared some amazing stories about her life, about the formation of the company, about what corporate is currently doing to maintain quality and serve customers and employees and distributors. I was really, really impressed with their ownership of what's been challenging for the last year or two. They did not pretend things they didn't pretend things haven't been hard. They totally owned up to it and are extremely committed to improvement. I was really impressed with their commitment to quality and service and humility, and it was really encouraging and inspiring to be around. I so much prefer being around people or organizations who take responsibility for themselves and their life and the things they do and say than people who are always trying to push the responsibility on other people. But you know what I heard right out of Mary Young's mouth this past weekend, and I saw the fruit of it all over the place with my own eyes? I heard her say, money is a side benefit of helping people. And I heard her say that in every decision this company has made, it comes after asking God for direction. This company takes ethical principles and helping people and caring for our bodies and stewarding our planet so seriously. And I think that because those things are so important to them, I can probably survive some bumps when it comes to product distribution. I have complete faith now that those things are actively getting worked on. One of the things I found out while I was there was that some of the IT employees have been sleeping under their desks at work at night trying to get products to people without bugs and effectively. They are working their tails off. And I should have guessed that, but I guess I just didn't. I guess I was just stuck in my own experience for a little while. I think we all go through that from time to time, and the best thing is to just own up to it, right? But when I thought about what their wives or their families are sacrificing for them to do that, because I know what it's like to have a husband who's gone a lot for work. When I thought that they were doing that to give me a better website experience, it really put my frustration about my customers like maybe missing a promotional item or their tracking number not working or needing a replacement because something leaked. It really puts that stuff in perspective. Like, those things are temporary. Those things can be fixed. Those things are growing pains. And I think, like I said, I think the combination of some stressful life circumstances and the fact that we have a lot of the health changes our family has adopted are kind of automatic for us now. And I think that just kind of dulled me a little bit for a season to what a privilege it is to be able to make some clicks on a screen and have things sent to my door that keep us so healthy. When I think back to like what it was like to not have those tools, I think of things like how I used to cough while I cleaned my bathroom. Jaina, when she was a baby, would like never take a bottle, and we finally found out from our lactation consultant that it was because the bottle parts and nipples that we were using smelled like our floral dish soap, and she could smell it and would turn her head away because they had artificial fragrances and dyes in them. I used to have to call out of work for myself having a cold or sick kids having a cold. Nick used to have cavities at like every freaking dentist appointment and hasn't had them in years. We used to have to spend hundreds of dollars on seasonal over-the-counter allergy meds. I used to have a huge sweet tooth for food that was crappy for me and made me experience afternoon energy dips. That's just a few examples, you guys, of things that we experienced all the time. They were normal to us, but they're not normal anymore. We don't we don't have that stuff going on anymore. Young Living is not perfect. They're not, because they are an organization made up of human people. And if you think you are a perfect human, maybe you should give me some of your tips. I am under the impression that the only perfect human that ever existed was Jesus. And I certainly will not claim to be a perfect human. But Young Living's values are strong. Their purpose is clear. They speak and act and make corporate decisions with grace and humility. They are so open to constructive feedback. They are actively valuing people over profit. It was so evident to me. I have not found any other company to buy the stuff I need for day-to-day life, stuff as basic as my toothpaste. I have to buy it somewhere, right? Nowhere else has their standards when it comes to ingredients or corporate transparency or integrity. I have not been anywhere, I have not serviced or been a customer at a company that so deeply cares for their customers, their employees, their distributors as people and not as numbers. I don't know if you guys, I like Costco, okay? I shop at Costco. One of the things I like about Costco is that they have a great return policy, which shows that they value their customers. They have a rewards program, and their employees pretty much all seem happy to be there. I will tell you that what I've experienced with Young Living is like Costco magnified by 10 or 100. But I know that Costco is a more widely relatable shopping experience. Lots of people have shopped at Costco. So think that times 100 in the way that they care for their employees and the environment and their customers. It is amazing. You guys maybe have heard me say before, my goal in life and in pursuing health and wellness is not to try to outrun the clock or live forever. It's not. I know there are some people that are into health and wellness, and it's almost it can get to almost an obsessive point, and I don't mean to judge them, but I don't think that's healthy either. Our lives are going to have trouble. They're going to have challenge. Some of it is going to be unavoidable because the world is broken until Jesus comes back. My goal is to just steward myself and my family as well as I can, and to serve and love other people. And that comes, I have found that comes a lot more easily and fluidly when we're feeling good and we're not weighed down physically and emotionally and spiritually. Do you agree with that? All the people are just looking at the back of your head. That's kind of boring. I don't know what you see over there. But you guys, my friend Kelly was what I would call a trail guide to me when it came to my health and wellness. And it radically changed my family's life. If you're just hopping on now, please go back and watch the beginning of the replay of this video when it's posted. But I am here now to be a trail guide for you. And my goal is just to share what it's like to have beneficial tools in your wellness toolbox and thrive through the journey that is life. Can I help you? Are you thriving? I want to feel good while doing good in the world. It's pretty much as simple as that. And I have not found any other company that does that as well as Young Living. They so clearly demonstrate the things that I value the most. Okay, so I said I'm here to be a trail guide, right? Well, if you think from that perspective, hearing someone talk about a hike they went on or a trip they went on, it's not the same as taking the trip yourself, right? So don't keep sitting around and wondering if you could have these changes. Don't take my word for it. Don't guess. Try it for yourself because you and your family are worth it. Feeling better is so worth it. I literally had a friend text me yesterday, you guys, and I'm going to read this. I wrote down her exact quote. She said, "I know I can't go backwards, but I wish I took control of my health better before I got this sick." That's a direct quote. You guys, all you have to risk is money, and it's worth it to stop wondering. It's worth it to not have to ask, what if I had started sooner? I don't like constant nagging questions in the back of my head, and that's why when my kids kept getting each other sick from drinking out of each other's cups, and I kept reading about people in my education group using Ningxia Red and thieves to boost their immune system, I was like, all right, I'm sick of wondering if this would work for us because at least if I try it, I'll know. What you guys have to gain by trying this out in health and energy and knowledge and community is so good. It's so worth it. I am here to walk the trail with you at whatever pace you want to go. if you're experiencing something and you're wondering if oils or changing out your home or personal care products or adding in a supplement could help you feel better, let's talk about it. Send me a message and let's chat about it. You are never a burden by asking me questions like this. I am honored and so grateful to do it. It's an opportunity that I take seriously. It's important to me and it is a privilege. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this story. And you can stay tuned for more things. Guys, I came back from this trip with my head just like exploding with things I wanted to share with you. Things like about what sets Young Living's farms apart and tips and tricks for fall and winter wellness as we're going into like our 4th year with good tools for that. My ongoing decluttering journey. You guys, the clothes from my closet that I pulled out before I went on this trip are still on my floor upstairs. But you know, I'm here to be real. And of course, content will also include the world's cutest baby. But I'm so thankful for each and every friend that watches this and takes the time to listen in. Blessings on your week, and I will be back again to chat soon. Thank you guys so much for your time.